Hi guys, it's Lisa. How are you doing today? I am here to do a video about my experiences at Amazon. I've been telling you guys that I was going to do this for the longest, and I wanted to come on and get it started before I forget, because I've already forgotten a lot of stuff. So I'm just going to jump right into it. I was hired in November of last year, which was 19, excuse me, good Lord, where am I? 18, 2018, and I worked until January like 23rd or something like that of 2019. So I have my little notes here so that I can remember. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this in segments because it's a lot to try to remember, try to do one video. So I'm going to start off with the hiring process and the orientation. So I was hired through a company called Integrity. And I didn't work directly for Amazon, but I worked through Integrity for Amazon, if that makes sense. So I basically answered to Integrity, and when Amazon wanted to say something to me, whatever, they will say it through Integrity, and Integrity will come tell me. So it's this office. I live in Arizona. So I don't know how many distribution centers they have here, or how many fulfillment centers they have here, but I knew of two of them, and I worked. There was a big one and a smaller one. I worked at the smaller one. So I went in for the hiring into the office, Integrity office. You go through the door. They direct you to where you need to go. Everything was done on the computer inside the building. So you went from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5, whatever. And each one of the computers had a different area that they wanted to address. So you had to answer a question from each little area. I don't remember how many exactly there were, but it like went around the room like this. And then you got to a station where you watched a video. I don't even remember what the video was about. And then they not escorted you, but they told you to go to this other area where you just sat and waited. Then they called us up one by one to take our picture. And I'm like, okay. They take a picture. And I realized later on that picture was the one that was on your badge when you worked at Amazon. And they also had another copy of the picture on the little board. When you go in for your shift, you take your little card out of the little off the board, so they'll know, I guess, that you're there, whatever. So anyway, back to the hiring. So after we sat in the little room and waited, and they called us up and they took our picture, then we went and sat down again. I said we, meaning all the people that were in there. And then they called us back into one of the little offices. It was more like a cubicle, one by one. So when they called me back there, the lady just asked me if I'd ever done any work like that before. And I told her that I'd worked at Macy's and I did packing. So I don't know if you have an opportunity to tell them which department you want to work in. I don't know. But I assume that because I did packing before, that's where she put me. And I was okay with that. So then she did a drug test, like swabbing my mouth thingy. And then she said, when this gets back, whatever. Basically, she said everybody who comes in can leave with a job if the drug test comes back. So yeah, so that's a good thing, I guess, for some people. If you don't have any kind of drug addiction or some type of felony or something like that, you can get hired. Anyway, so I'm not sure how much time went by before they contacted me and told me, okay, well, this is going to be your start date, whatever day it was. I think it was maybe about a couple of weeks, if that long. And I had to go in for an orientation, which was that Saturday. So let's say they contacted me on a Monday and told me, okay, Saturday you need to be here by whatever specific time and for the orientation. So I went in, and it was basically videos. We just watched different scenarios and, about the hiring process, about nothing about Amazon itself, or like what we were supposed to do. It was just orientate. You guys know what orientation is. So it's just basically telling us about the company and, stuff like that. So it wasn't anything like showing us how to do our job. So going through safety steps and, stuff like that. Yeah. Um, they also told us that it was like a 6 point, I think it was 6 points that we could get. It was like a system where, like if you call in, they take a point. If you're late, they take whatever, however many points, or 0.5, whatever. And that was basically saying if you get up to those points, if you use up all your points, then of course you terminate it. So that's what that was about. We learned about that in orientation. They actually let us go early. We did get to tour the facility, which was, the orientation was in the building with the main floor, whatever. So we walked out of that little room and walked down a little ways, and then we went into the actual warehouse part of it. And you had to go through we got our badges and stuff at the orientation that day before we went down there. So each one of us, when you walk through the door, they have like this little security gate thingy, and you have to swipe your card or scan your card and then go through the little turnstile looking thing, and then you walk straight. It's like a security desk right here, and then you're inside. So to the left of that, they showed us, you go down, there was restrooms, and then there was a break room, and then there was lockers, and then a little further down there was another break room, and that was it. So we came back out. They showed us where the time clock was, and they showed us that on the wall. We all got a chance to scan our card because we were getting paid for being there those however many hours we were there. And then they took us to this little area, like right just before you got to, right in front of the security desk. And it said something like, stop here, make sure you don't have any cell phones or whatever before you go past this point. So once you go past that point, that's where they actually had the where you would be working. So there was some desks there, like customer service. Then the integrity people's desk was right up front with the security, so it was right there as you're coming in. So we met some people along the way, whatever, and then they actually took us out onto the floor. So once you pass a little customer service or whatever, you turn to the right, and they had this little area where the carts, and not the carts, the little machines and whatever, that little robots, whatever them things called, people were driving them. I don't know what they're called, but it's had a lot like a stop sign, and it said to stop here, make sure nobody's coming before you go across. So once you go across, then you're on the actual floor. People packing, people picking. So we were introduced to, the lady introduced us to our supervisor, and I think we met the guy that was going to be training. No, we didn't. We just met our supervisor and some other people. So that was pretty much it for that day. And then we left. We went back to the little room where we were doing, the checking in, orientation, whatever. Then they let us go. So that was pretty much the hiring process. Let me make sure I didn't leave anything out. Okay, we were told that we would get 2 15-minute breaks and a 30-minute lunch break. So my hours were from 6 to 5:30, I think, 6 p.m. to 5:30 a.m. And because I was working overnight, I got paid a little bit more, which was like $15.80 something. I think for the day shift was like $15.60 something, whatever. So they gave us information about how we were to get paid, how we wanted to get paid. They gave us website information to go on and set up our account and stuff, so we'll know about our hours and about any other little information that we might need to know about our job. Okay, so I worked from Sunday to Wednesday, and I was off Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And I went back on Sunday, like 6 o'clock on Sunday. Now, during the peak season, which was the holiday season, it was mandatory overtime, basically. And they added an extra day. So I would have been working that Thursday. So instead of 10 hours, we got 12 hours. Something like that. Yeah, so let me see what else. I think that was pretty much it for the first day. So yeah, so anyway, that was pretty much it for the orientation. So that's it for that. I'm going to break these up, like I said, because it's so much that I need to remember, and I can work on what's happening on the first day. I can write down everything that I remember about that instead of trying to do everything all at once. So guys, that's it. So this is the first series, the first video in the series of working at Amazon. So I will see you guys on the next one. Talk to you later. Doei.